Alright, Rocket Fuel Mega Project Part 3. Is this the finale? Maybe. We'll kind of see how today goes. So, it's time to bring in the coal, the sulfur, the nitrogen gas, and then we're going to set up those nitro rocket fuel blenders hooked up to all the fuel we've been putting together from the last couple episodes. I did run a test as well, as per mentioned in my Discord that I probably should. So it does run at 100% efficiency, up to the fuel part anyway. So that's a good thing to know, that ridiculous pipe work that I did actually works. There's probably a better way of doing it, but you know, if it works, it works. So today I think we're going to get most of the things finished off, and then, you know, like I said, I think last time, we won't be able to actually set up all the power generators for this so far, because technically we can't actually bring in all the sulfur yet. However, we're definitely going to at least get one full line set up today, maybe a couple lines, and we'll get those power generators kicked on, and then we can finally move on from this crazy project and get started on our next one, which is the 100 electro fuel rods, which I did already set up a train line, which you can kind of see is running around up here. This is the general location where the electro fuel rod, or electro control rods, those are going to be made in a factory up here that is not put together yet. I don't know if I even have much of a platform going yet, but I did make a train line just for practice. I've been making some blueprints and stuff in between episodes just to try things out. Seeing some inspiration from other things people have built. So I do have things, I do have things like a full train section now, which is a bunch of like railway sections, and you can put the rails, it's a two-way rail section, so you can put the rails on either side of that middle barricade. And then I also set up some turns, so I'm even rocking some curves now. I got a little frustrated setting up that train line. It took me just way too long. And I was like, you know what? I need some assistance in the future. So now I actually have more or less a train blueprint that I can actually set down. And so without further ado, and thanking everyone on our Patreon and our YouTube membership here, appreciate you guys. Let's head on over to our giant mega rocket fuel factory, shall we? And look at that. We're back here over at the giant rocket fuel factory. So I did go ahead, obviously, and set up a few things in between our episode. If you want to follow along, or if you are following along, you can catch up by downloading the save file in the Google Drive. Along there, you'll also find many of the blueprints, one of which I'm going to go over, the nitro rocket blenders. I've blueprinted that all out, along with our fuel generators. I guess I can show you both blueprints today. But here I have set up already the nitrogen gas that's going to be pumping in. So we'll kind of go over the numbers in a little bit. But I just kind of saved the time and saved you guys having to just watch me lay a bunch of pipes. Everything's just kind of flowing together now. Here, this is 6 pipes of, I'll be able to tell from here. These are all 6 pipes of 150. And this connects up with, there's a bunch of pipes coming over there that are, I think they're full 600. So I'm going to have to do some like splitting up of things to make this is also more nitrogen gas than I'm actually going to need, but I just figured I'd bring in all of it, and then we can use some of it for, I don't know, maybe some extra stuff. I'm eventually going to be taking this part out. I do need it still running for now, because this is making the fuel for my turbo fuel factory, or my turbo fuel plant over there, which I kind of still need. I don't need for too much longer. We'll be able to shut that down pretty soon. But yeah, so I've got the sulfur, or where's the coal? Coal's coming in from over here. And I think I have 8 lines of 300 here. Can I go a little faster? Go faster. Yeah, so this should be 8 lines of 300. I need 9 lines of 300. The other 300 comes from the backside, which there is a truck station over there, but I haven't actually set up the truck line yet, so we'll kind of be able to do that during this episode. But I just went ahead, threw down all the miners here. So you've got all of these set to 600, and then they all feed into a splitter, and then they go onto my, whatever, my little conveyor line here that I had set up. And so that will be my 8 lines of my 300. And then the 9th one I'll just bring up over from the other side. Train stations. we've got white train stations I've labeled. They will receive 400 items per minute. They're currently getting 260-ish. And then the red ones all get 300 per minute. They're getting a little bit more than that right now, but that's just because things are sort of balancing out. But yeah, each red station I've marked out will get 300 items per minute, and then the white ones will all get 400. So that should help make the splitting of everything just a little bit easier here. Is I need 9. Nope, that's not it. Where is it? Where's my sign for sulfur? Here it is. I need 9 lines of 600 sulfur each. So that should be fairly straightforward in terms of like load balancing things. I was a little nervous having things planned out that because you can't really move 600 items per minute from one. I mean, if you had like 2 trains, but from a singular train car that these are all unloading from, you can't really move 600 items per minute. So this should be broken down easily. You know, take one of these and split it apart. You get 200, and then you can kind of mix it with, you know, everything as we're going along here. So that should be pretty easy to get everything balanced out as we get this all set up going forward. Obviously, again, we don't really need, like, we can't technically make the 9 lines of 600 yet, so we're just going to kind of use what we got. But thankfully, everything's kind of broken down into groups of 9 so that we only have to turn on certain groups at a time. All right, all that talking later. I'm just going to talk your guys' ear off today, apparently. So we have, I believe this one is a line of 600. This one is a line of 600. I got them marked out over here. I did make like this. I saw this is a design from I took this kind of from Total Eclipse. It's just a little different from what he did, but it's the general same shape and idea where you got like glass sides and sloped roof. Just to encase the miners. I think it looks pretty cool. So you've got one line of 600 here, one line of 600 here, and this will be a line of 1200 when we have the Mark 6 conveyor belts. So it's not connected right now, but it'll be connected going up through here, and then that goes underneath my train line here. I was gonna go over it, but it was like just too close, so I went under, and then I've got it marked out here with my sign, so I don't forget. We have one, that's gonna be the 1200. And then we'll have 2 lines of 600, so that's going to be those 2 right there. So, I mean, those are basically ready to go. Essentially from here, you'll have 4 lines of 600, which is done, clean, ready to go. So now, we're going to, I'll tell you guys all about my little nitrogen gas pipeline coming down over here as I run out of jetpack fuel, or jetpack connection. This is my 6 lines of 600. So this, we're going to have to split as well, because I need to make these 6 combined with those 6 over there need to become 9 lines of 450. And then I'll just kind of separate the rest of it off, and I don't know, we'll use the rest of it in another build. There's some room down. No, not here. What is that? Is that a summer sloop that I didn't grab? That's funny. Must have built right on top of it. Yoink. Give me a connection. Okay, there we go. So, I'm going to leave this space open here for anything else we kind of want to use this factory for. And then, because we are going to get polymer resin, and then, like I said, extra bit of stuff here. But we're going to send this nitrogen gas up to the floor above me. Same with this one here, and then also with the coal and the sulfur. That's all going to go upstairs, because I don't think I have enough room on this floor for 54 more blenders. So let's hop up to the upper floor, and we can start putting down 54 blenders. Let's go. Oh yeah, this should work a whole lot better, I think. We got lots of room to work with up here. And I've already brought the fuel up here, so we're kind of ready to go. So yeah, I got my pipeline coming in down there. I just used another blue. Like, if you guys ever want to grab any of my blueprints, you're more than welcome to. They're all free to use. They're on the Google Drive. And I've organized them pretty well, so it should be easy to grab things out of there. This is my large moving blueprint, so you can connect belts. I think it's got 8 belts and 6 pipe connections. It's pretty big, and then it just runs all the way up there. Those belts are actually so you can stand on them and ride them all the way up over the pump over there. So I just kind of threw that down quickly in between. It's not like super duper clean by any means. It is like once you get real close to the factory, but I didn't want to like just do full right hand turns following the world grid all the way here. So it is just kind of bent and goes all over the place, but I think it does look pretty cool. So we have our fuel storages here. And so from each line of these, there's 9 of them. These are going to hook up to our nitro rocket fuel blender here. But before I start putting these down, I'll just throw one down and then I'll go over the blueprint instead of going over the actual blueprint maker itself. I figure out where I want to start putting these. So I think we're going to go, it's groups of 6 again. So I think we're going to go having them go down that way, and then we'll just go in this direction. So let's grab our blueprint. All right, check out my sweet blueprint. So we have all our incoming connections here. So the orange ones, everything's all color coded as well. Makes this really easy. So you got your orange pipe, that's going to be for your fuel. The white pipe, that's going to be for the nitrogen gas. These are already set up, ready to go. So you get your fuel, your nitrogen gas, sulfur, and your coal. So then you got your 2 lines down there. One of those can be for sulfur, one of those can be for coal. And then on the output on the back, because you get compacted coal coming out of these, so each line is also, well, we're going to have to figure out how many we actually, I think it's like 1,300 something compact coal. We'll just throw that in a sink for now. We'll use that in projects in the future. So in this red pipe, the cool red color pipe in the back here, we have, this is where all the rocket fuel is going to be. And rocket fuel is a gas. So basically, once we get done with these blenders, from the blenders here on out, no more pumps because it's a gas, so no pumps required. I also don't think I'll worry about setting these anywhere, because gases are, I find anyway, far easier to work with than liquids. So we just need to start setting up 9 groups of 6 of these. So we're going to grab blueprint here, snap it on. I did make it, unfortunately, I set the blenders in the middle of the blueprint maker, so you do have to hold H, and then we're just going to nudge it into position. Make sure there's, a little bit of space in between. So I think probably about right there. Right there, I think is too close. I think right there, if you put the line from the other beam, basically right underneath the power nub there. That's how I'll go with about these. So let me do that one more time. Oh my god, it's lagging already. Let's pop that right about there. There we go. That'll be our 6. So basically now we're just going to connect those pipes up. I may have to do, especially for the fuel, because, this nitrogen gas, again, not going to be an issue. But because your fuel is liquid still, I may have to do, like, a overflow pipe just to make this, because it's such a long pipe. Actually, we'll just do that now. So let me take that one out. Let me grab the pipeline supports. And then I'll probably put one about here. Bring that all the way up. And then we'll put another one right here. How far did I put it? Okay, just a little gap in between. So what this is going to do, this is going to allow the fluids to kind of just flow around the pipe a little bit better. Grab one of these. Oh god. God, the power like just barely makes it right here. There we go. So that's connected up in the back now. And then I just need to put this one in right here. So if I put it there and then bring it back 2, it should line up with this one. Not do that. Just go here, and that should be... No, that was wrong. I'm just go right there. Yeah, I was one off. My bad. There we go. Perfect 90 degree. So that'll just create an overflow pipe to keep the fuel kind of moving with less sloshing issues. Connect that pipe up through there. And then basically we just need to connect the input pipe, which is right here. Hook that up to one of these fuel storages right here. And then hook up these red pipes in the back. hook these up, and then we should be good to go. So I'm going to do this. I have to do this 8 more times. Let's see if I can actually get these to fit. So let me see. Give myself a little bit of space. So I think I may actually have to do this potentially in 2 floors, which honestly not that big of a deal because again, I can get the nitrogen gas to go up no problem. I'll just maybe I may just have to use a pump for the fuel to get it up there. Alright, just wanted to make sure they all fit. Because I was like, I don't want to start laying these all out and it turns out they all don't fit. So we got 9 groups going all the way down there. We definitely have enough room going all the way down the side. So they are about, they're not like exactly like lined up with each other. As you can see here, I'll show you where the end of the blueprint is on this one. I line up with the other one. Hello? There we go. Oh, it's basically this one with the line. This pipe kind of goes almost to about the halfway point there on this foundation. And then the next one, oops, that's not what I meant to do. And then the next one kind of goes right, where's the line? I found you. Your stairs, kind of, or the support thing kind of goes right in the middle here. Oh, no, that's not right. There. Goes one over. The line, it sits right on the line, in case you were following along exactly. But, I mean, to be honest, I don't know if people are going to follow along exactly with something like this. This is just a crazy project that isn't really, this is more power than you even need to finish the game. So, I'm not really sure. A lot of this was really just for fun. So, let's get these 9 groups of 6 finished up. We'll get these placed down, which is going to take me a couple seconds. And then we'll start hooking some pipes up, and we'll see if we can get this this power project off the ground. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised the autosaves aren't taking way longer yet, but they're pretty quick. Definitely reminding myself to save. I mean, the autosaves help too, but I've definitely been reminding myself to save as we go along here because, you know, crashing is definitely a high possibility at this point. So we've got our rocket, the rocket fuel. It's going to be coming out the back here. It's going to be going right here. And I think I did some calculations on how much each line, oops, ran out of power there. I think I did some calculations on how much each line can be connected to. So I believe it's 108 fuel generators per group of blenders here, or 54 if you overclock them, which I think at least for this first little, because the amount of I think it's 1,944 fuel generators to be exact is the amount of things I can power with this factory, which is absolutely insane, and would probably shut my computer down. So we're going to be doing lots of overclocking. However, that also means I need like 1,500 power shards, which I don't have right now, but I think for at least just the one line, is it fit? So 54 times 2, that'd be 100. So I would need 108. I think I definitely have 108 power shards. I have 84 on me right now, and I have 269. Nice in the storage. So yeah, we'll definitely overclock this first floor or this first line. So I think that's kind of probably how we'll end up ending the episode off today, is we'll set up the first 54 fuel generators using my blueprint, and then we will hook up the rocket fuel from there, and then we just gotta, you know, set the compact coal that's gonna be coming out of here, because otherwise everything's gonna get backed up. We're gonna send that through and then into an awesome sink for now. If you guys have any ideas on what I can use, so basically byproducts coming out of here, we have polymer resin, we have compact coal, we have some extra nitrogen gas. We also have a spare oil node. I think there's a spare iron node here. So if you guys have any ideas on what else I can kind of add into this factory to kind of fill it out and use, like, maximize all the potential of all the nodes in the area, let me know down below in the comments what you think I could add in. So let's get this first fuel line hooked up, shall we? So because I'm using the pipeline, stackable pipeline support, I can't use just the normal pipeline support because they don't actually go high enough. So I'm going to have to keep using these all the way along. I'm just going to drag this all the way over, make sure it's still lined up. It's just offset of that line there. So I know if I drag it up, what do I need to drag it up? 3? Yeah, because it's on top of a... Oh, yeah, I remember now. So yeah, it goes up 3. And then technically on the bottom, if you really wanted to, it's actually, I remember why I did that. So you can actually move a belt through if you need to. That's why I did that. I'm so smart, thinking ahead. So you're going to bring this one over here now. We're going to bring it, you're going to turn it like that. Bring it over 2. Drag it up again. So take that to there. And then we're going to drag this pipe. Going to go over from here. I guess technically, let me take out this awesome sink for now, because it's not even going to be here when it's all said and done. Let's go to this one. It's got to go up 3 like that. So yeah, coming out of here, we are going to, because that's too tall for the, even if that was full, I don't think that would give me enough head lift. So I'm going to bring this out here. Just like that. And I'll actually bring the pipe from here to there so that I can put pumps right here, and then that should alleviate any issues. They can even just be Mark 1 pumps, although I'll probably use Mark 2s just because I think they look cooler. There we go, got those pipes connected up now, and then you could run the nitrogen gas along here too to hook up right into there. But what I'm probably going to do is actually feed the nitrogen gas all in from the other side, and I'll just feed it in from the floor down below. That way I don't have to worry about getting like all these pipes kind of tangled up and messed around, and this is going to be a little bit of a mess anyway, trying to figure out how to get all this fuel pipe through here. So actually I just realized too that this is not the right one for this. Technically, it should be that back one over there, and then everything can just kind of come around through here. I mean, or I can run everything the other way. Like if I fed all the fuels from that, no, I'll feed them this side. Okay, so it still needs to be this one though. So we're I'm gonna grab this right here. Put it right next to it, because I know kind of where they have to be. Actually, I'll tighten this one up a little bit. So if you put the legs like right into each other, like that, then they'll actually stack like really close, tightly next to each other. Oops. Go. So we'll bring that one over here, and then we're going to connect that to this one. We're going to find the pipeline support. It's going to go right there. Bring this one back a little bit. And then we'll grab the pipe, and then from here to here. That way we can put the pump right there. Okay, so connect that back up. Should be a right-hand turn. Perfect. Okay, so now I put this right here. There we go. Okay, a little bit of a convoluted mess I sort of made, so you know, but it should still work. I'm going to make sure I have enough room for everything here. Looks like I do. Okay. Like I want to make sure I have enough room for like my backflow pipe here. I don't have to worry about having 3 pipes coming along the side here. All these other pipes are just going to come along this side and we'll feed in from this part here. But we'll worry about that in a little bit from now. So for now, that is going to be, it looks like it is actually pumping the fuel into there, but I think that's, is it really? Like, does it have that much pressure? Oh, wait, I thought the pressure, like I thought that pump from down below, it stops once it gets to here. I'll probably put pumps on just to be safe. I'd rather be safe than sorry, but it's probably just because there's so much backflow pressure right now, it probably just filled the system. Okay, so let me make sure my white pipes are all connected to this one. So make sure, just in case there is anyone following along, I want to make sure we have this kind of set up and ready to go on at least showing one of them, and then I can just kind of, instead of making you watch me do it over and over and over and over again, I can just show you this one, and then we can move on from here. So let's grab, where is it? Logistics. In that pipeline floor hole. I'm going to put it right there, just so I know where it is all the way along, makes it a little bit easier. Horizontal to vertical, so that way I know to just put it on the, that's where my power ends right there. That way I know to add the pipeline floor hole going down the middle all the way along. So that will be my 450 nitrogen gas. And then I just want to make sure my belts are connected. There we go. So that'll move our coal and sulfur through there. And then we get our rocket fuel at the back. Oh my god, it feels so good to almost be done. There's so much work's gone into this project, even like stuff that's been recorded, and even the stuff that hasn't been recorded. It's just so many hours in this one, but it's going to feel good to finally be done. And I just noticed this one group of blenders is actually off just by a little bit. And you know what? I don't care enough to fix it, so that's fine. Okay, so those are all set up, ready to go now. So now we can just get the floor hole, lift floor holes in. So we'll go one here, one there. And there we go. So that'll be, one of those can be for coal, one of those can be for sulfur. So now we just need to go down, since the fuel's basically already, actually, like I said, I want to put a pump on here just to be sure. You definitely could use a Mark 1, but I like the Mark 2s because they just look cool. So we'll get that hooked up to some power. If I can hook it up to the ceiling without it being too ridiculous. Not really. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll hook up like a couple to each power pole. And then I'll just run the power kind of somewhere else. Okay, so now we got to work on splitting up my nitrogen gas pipes that are coming in. So I went ahead and I did one side so that I could figure it out, because my brain needs to work things out very slowly and silently sometimes. So now I can actually just tell you how to do the other side. So basically each one is going to come down, and each one is going to hit a junction. And then that's going to give me these pipes here that are all going to be 300. And by using Mark 1 pipes, I can make sure they're only 300. So now we're going to do this on the other side here. So we're going to go make these lined up. So this was right here. So we go right here. This was the tall one. This was the double. That was the single. That one goes in there. That one goes in there. And that one goes in there, if it'll work. There we go. So now I just want to bring those down. So I'm going to grab... Maybe was it in front of it? Is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right, 1, 2, 3. Right there. That's too tight. Yeah, I was going to say that's too tight. Right there. So bringing those down. Just like that. And then we're going to bring them around into the junctions. I put the junctions right about here. So we got 1. Oops. 2 and 3. There we go. So you got your 3 pipes coming down into your junctions. And then we'll have 1 coming out here. 1 can come out there. I have to use support to do it. There's that one. There we go. So that is your... Whoops, I forgot to make them pipeline Mark 1s again. Did it on that one, did it on this one. Okay, so that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 lines of 300. And why? I don't need that many, like I was saying. So 3 can just kind of stay off to the side and do nothing. But the other 3 are going to get mixed, or the other ones, or the other 6, sorry, are going to get mixed with the lines of 150 that are coming from over here. And then that should be exactly 450 for everybody. So let's go ahead and set up. We got our 1 nitrogen gas pipeline coming in right there. So we'll set up this one right here, actually. And you know what I'll do? I'll take this one off. I'll send it out this side. And it was right in the middle. That's what I remember from last time. You can just kind of go like this. Bring it over. Say we put it about there. And then we'll grab this one. See if we can link it up here already. We can, okay. So I'm going to bring it down. So I'm going to bring it along the ceiling. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that for a second here first. About like right there. Did I go too far? No, I did not. Perfect. Okay, so that'll be a nitrogen gas. As you can see, it's going up all on its own without a need for any pumps. So now I just need a junction. And I'll put, actually, I'll put it right here. Put it right here in the middle. That way, I can bring the other pipe over. That'll be the 450 one. Or sorry, this will be the 150 to make it 450. I'm sure you guys knew what I meant. I just remembered I didn't actually bring these ones over all the way. We've got our 6 pipes of 300 here, stacked all the way up. I just color coded so I knew which ones they were. But I need to actually bring them down. So I'm going to bring them over. Where did I bring it? Where's that pipe? Oh, I need to get rid of this. This is currently in the way. There's the pipe right there. Okay, so I need to bring that pipe over. I'll pretty much bring it over here. I think I'll just pretty much send it into... Can I go up? Why can't I go up? There we go. I think I'm just going to bring this down into a floor hole here. I'll just do it right away. I mean, these are going to be gone anyway, but I mean, might as well do this. I'll bring this over. Especially since I can hover down here. Bring it along the ceiling. I went too short. That's fine. So I just need to hook this pipe up to this one over here, and that'll be my first line of nitrogen fuel done. Many more to go, but that's okay. Alright, 450 nitrogen gas in one pipe. Man, that took a while to get that over here. There's the auto... Oh, the autosave is just ever so slowly starting to get a little bit longer. So that's an omen for when it starts to become like... I don't know how long your guys' autosaves get, but I remember when I was doing my Update 8 playthrough, I could literally just stop playing the game for like 10 minutes and be like, well, I'll come back when this is done. Alright, now as you can tell from how long just doing that one pipeline took, I have a good few hours ahead of me of doing all the pipe work for all this. I mean, there's going to be quite like many hours still that I end up not recording of this. That's literally just placing down hundreds and hundreds of power generators and hooking up hundreds and hundreds of pipes. And it's going to be very exhausting and I'm going to hate myself. But I'm never going to have to worry about doing power again for the rest of my playthrough. Which is pretty cool. And I even have some like mega projects planned, and this should very easily cover it. Worst case scenario, I can always do, because I'm doing like the electro control rods, I can always do a nuclear project. I mean, with a small amount of work involved. So just double checking up here. Looks like we've got our nitrogen gas is all filling up through that pipe there now. So now we just have to hook up these coal and sulfur inputs, which, just to make it easy on myself, I'm going to grab the... There's a 300 coal coming, or these are going to be... Yeah, there's a 300 line here. Actually, it could be this one, because this is also going to be a 300 line, but I figured I would just make it all kind of go over there and meet up together anyway. So we got one coal line is going to run along the ceiling here. I may have to drop it down when I run into that pipe over there, but that'll be okay. So let's say this will be the coal. And then this can be a sulfur. And then the sulfur, I'm going to reverse that way. And then I'm going to hook that belt up to this line over here. It's going to go down to the ground so I can make this a little faster. There we go. So there's going to be a splitter for this one here. Oh wait, it is the line of 600, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to grab one of these. And I'm going to hook it up to that belt over there, and that'll be my one line of 600 sulfur. And then we'll grab one of our belts of coal over here, which is right about there. Okay, so we'll grab one of those, and one of those, and we'll hook it up to that one over there. Oh my god, that took forever. So, I have one line done so far, one of many. So I got my sulfur running along the ceiling down there, coal running all the way along down the backside there. I definitely could have planned that a little better, where I could have sent my coal in from a closer spot. Hey, get out of here. Ruin my fun. So that is now, okay, now the sulfur is also making its way up top there. So now we can go ahead on up to the upper level here. You can see our sulfur now starting to pile in, our coal now starting to pile in. So it looks like we've got all our inputs ready to go. So now we just need to go ahead and hook this up to power so that this can start filling itself up with rocket fuel. So let's get these kind of hooked up. I did have a kind of thing running along the ceiling here, but I'm just going to hook these up like this. Actually, no, that'll hook them all up at once. Never mind. So let's go ceiling. There we go. Okay. The other ones are not connected to power because I have not hooked up the blueprints together yet. Like that. That should be everybody now. So those will start piling in. We'll start taking in their fuel and their nitrogen gas. And then look at that rocket fuel. Oh man, that looks so cool. What a perfect color combination. That was swatch 9. And I can't remember if I changed it or not, but just in case I did, the red is 781414 if you wanted the exact one. I'm gonna name that something. Let's name that rocket fuel pipe. Oh, I can make it shiny? Oh god, the shiny makes my game crash, so let's go ahead and turn that off. Set it back to default. Oh god, okay, there we go. Man, my game was just like, not in this house. Okay, so now that that's all hooked up, we're gonna go ahead and put an awesome sink here on the very end. That's just going to be for the compact coal for now. Let's set that off out to the side. Make sure it's actually lined up. So let's drag it out like that. Hook my belt up. Hook up the power for this. Okay, so there we go. That's compact coal being sunk. Now, I need to go upstairs. Come on up top here. Not this floor. But this floor, actually, I might just take out that one, this one floor that's in between, because I don't need a logistics floor here, because the pipes are just coming up from down below. Maybe I'll just take this one off. Can I take this floor off without causing any issues? Yes, it would cause issues if I took this floor away, because there's my pipes on it. So, you know what? We will just work with it, and we'll just have an extra pipe floor hole that we'll have to put down. So, like I said, we can put down it's either 108 or 54, and we're gonna go with 54 because that just seems like a much better idea to me. And then we're gonna go grab our power generation here. We're gonna grab our 4 fuel generators because I don't want to have to set down all these fuel generators, hook up power to everybody, hook up pipes and everything. So I made a blueprint. So each of these has 4. So if we go 54 divided by 4, that's 13 and a half. So I think if I put down 14 and I only overclock 13 of them, I think that's how this works. If it's not, I'll just delete some of them if I have to. So let's put down our first one here. Basically put it right along the side here. Oh, that's not. I wanted it lined up with that right there. Okay, so is that too tall? Am I maxed out on my where my energy actually goes to? Looks like it. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll put that one there. Just like that, and I can show you guys what it is. So you got your 4 fuel generators. One pipe gets fed from down below here. So it's basically going to need two pipes going to each one. So if I have to use a splitter, I can always do that. Okay, the only other bummer about my blueprint again is because I made it like right in the middle of the blueprint maker, I have to nudge everybody into position again. But this one's actually pretty easy. We'll put that one down there. It's definitely a little bit hard because it makes my game really slow down a little bit when I'm making these big old blueprints, but like I said, we need 14 of these. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in so far. I don't think we're going to be able to get a full line of 14 of them down. Probably going to have to do this, at least on this floor, probably going to have to do it in 2 groups of 7. Okay, I may not have measured it out, but that looks to me like it fits in pretty dang well, because we have to put some extra pipes and stuff in up here. So, hey, that's not bad. So that's our first group of 7. So now I just got to do a second one of that. How should I face it? Should I have the little ones like lined up with each other on the bottom? Yeah, I think I'll do that, and then it'll basically just be like back to back, and it should work out that way. So let's do another group of 7 here. Okay, I'm gonna have to go load up on a few things. My dimensional depot can't quite keep up with putting these down quite yet, so I'm gonna have to go grab a few things, mainly some rubber and a few other things as well. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab a few things, and then we'll come back here and start placing these down again, and then hopefully we can actually start getting them hooked up. Get all these pipes hooked up and everything. So basically I kind of have 2 options here. I can hook up everyone along the top and do like one group that way from one pipe, or wait, it's one pipe feeds all 14, right? So ran out of power. One pipe feeds all 14 blueprints, so you could technically hook this all up together, I suppose, and then just fill it all up that way. And then just have it be like one giant manifold system of a gas pipe. Or you can like actually take the time to split it when it comes up here. I don't think you really need to worry about it though. So basically you can sort of just connect everybody up together. Run like some pipes around the back to connect everyone, and then make this into one big gas pipe system. So yeah, let me go grab some stuff, and then we'll get back to placing these down. Oh my god, the generational struggle it was to get all these down without the computer just having not a good time at all. So there is our first 17 of our blueprints down. So that is, what is that? What's 17 times 4? 68. Okay, so those had to be 50. Wait. Are my math skills terrible? I think my math skills are terrible. Yeah, my math skills were horrible. It's 7 long, and there's 4 each, so it's 4 times 7 times 2 of these. I don't like any, so it's 56. There's 56 fuel generators. I don't know what my brain was doing there, but there's our first 56 fuel generators. So basically, since what we said was 54 and a half, or sorry, it was 13 and a half to be like 54. So this way it should be just a little bit of downclocking involved, and everything should work properly. Or I may even just delete, I may just even disconnect them entirely, just so it looks cleaner, but you know, doesn't actually run with the extra bit. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go to this first one. Actually, let me grab the other power shards I need here. And pop 2 in this one. And then we're going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it on everybody except, I'm not going to touch this last group of 4 yet until I have this fully figured. I think it's, if I did, it would be, if I didn't leave them as is, it would be these 2 overclocked and then these 2 not turned on. So I think if I just leave these 4 underclocked, then that should be fine. So then I'm just going to paste this settings onto everybody but these 4. Okay, everyone's copy and pasted, except for those last 4. So that means I just need to go through and hook up all my pipes going through here. And then we'll make a loop system for everybody. So coming around the back here. Yeah, coming around the back, I'm just going to hook this pipe up here. And then on the bottom, I'm going to hook this pipe up here. And then that will make this a almost fully closed loop system. Who else do I have to connect? So connect those bottom one, that one, and either the top one over there, and then one has to remain open just to pump the actual gas into. Alright, totally didn't confuse myself there on how I was setting this up. So I've got my pipeline coming up through here. This is the rocket fuel, doesn't need any pumps. It goes up into this lower section here, which is connected via a wraparound in the back. Sorry, there we go. Wraparound in the back on this lower level here. Comes around here. For some reason, it like tried to not hook up for some reason. I don't know why. I think it was missing a connection here for some reason. But, so it's going to be wrap around to this bottom section here. And it goes and fills that whole pipe. Then it comes connected on the other end. And back down to the other end again. The pipe is connected to this top section here. This top section here wraps around to connect all the way up to here. So the whole pipe should be able to pressurize itself with rocket fuel. It may take a few minutes because, I mean, it's quite a long pipe system. But technically that would be everybody all hooked up and ready to go. So I would just have to actually connect power down through the line here. I think only these two guys are actually hooked up right now. So I just have to wait and make sure that I actually see like all of my rocket fuel coming up here. And let's see why we're not running here. What do we not have? So the rocket fuel can't move for some reason. I'll have to figure out why that is. Alright, those of you watching at home probably noticed my grave mistake error that I made there and why the turbo fuel wasn't coming out. Because we make 900 turbo fuel here from these blenders. And I forgot that my plan was if you put an output on either side, that way the 900 can come up as 450 each. And then you run a pipe into the top one, which is connected to there, and a bottom one to connect to the bottom, and everyone is like interconnected. So sorry, I was like, wait, did I make just the biggest mistake of all time? I kind of did do the math incorrectly, but it was that was my plan that I just forgot about, that there was going to be 2 output pipes on either end of the manifold. So that makes more sense now. Okay, moving on, and hopefully that didn't. You guys are probably like, man, Sheffrey, you dumbass, you're not gonna believe the mistake you just made. But yeah, it should work out fine now. The only thing I actually have to do to make sure the rocket fuel is coming all the way through is I'll just watch these pipes here. It shouldn't take too long to actually get everything kind of moving through here. And then I just need to hook up all the power generators to each other. Also, I think my math skills are still incorrect. I think one of these pipes is supposed to be enough for all of these. Because, okay, so let's do it. 1940, that's how many fuel generators the whole system's supposed to have. So we divide that by the 9 groups downstairs. So that's so each group can power 216. Okay, so then we take 216 and then we divide it by 2. If we put 2 power shards, like if we double, like 2 power shards, everybody, is 108. Okay. So I think this is where I messed myself up. So technically each pipe here can do 108, which means this 54 should be 1 pipe, or sorry, yeah, wait, what the yeah, okay, so each group of 9 blenders downstairs can power 216. So if I split, like, so if each pipe would feed 108. So yeah, technically, and this is the 50, so technically 1 pipe feeds this whole thing. So one of these pipes is actually going to come over here to do this again. A second time. Okay, now I think that makes more sense now. So sometimes I get a little messed up. Okay, sorry if people are following along. They're like, man, you're real dumb. But hey, so now I can just put a second round of this then. Oh, someone got. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it connected with the second pipe for now, just so it fills up the whole system. And then once the whole system's filled, then I can go ahead and grab these and put another round right on the back here. And then so we'll do this again. So we have like just like that sort of thing. Are these lined up? There we go. Just like that. So we'll have another group of 56 here. and then that'll get connected to this pipe. Okay, now our things are starting to make sense. Okay, so now once that's all filled up, let's hook this pipe. Let's get these down, and then we'll get this pipe hooked up over here, and then, man, my brain's starting to hurt. I might bring this episode to an end here pretty soon on this mega project, but at least I think for the most part we're pretty much done. I mean, we haven't hooked up the entire factory yet, but we can't hook up the whole factory anyway. And as long as we get good enough amount for my satisfaction, then I think that'll be okay. I definitely did forget to hook up the pipes down below, but that's all hooked up right now. So now we just gotta put down these other fuel generators and move the pipe over. Alright, I haven't finished setting it up yet with all the pipes and all the power shards and everything, but I'm gonna have to at least pause the recording here for a minute. I think I'm gonna let my computer take a little break so that I can actually go back and double check and make sure everything's working without it crashing, because it just crashed a couple times on me. So let me pause the recording for a little bit, and then you guys won't notice, and then we'll just resume in a minute. Well, how about that? It actually works. I mean, as far as I can tell anyway. I've gone ahead and I've hooked up now 2 of my blender lines from down below. That is only 2 of 9 that I've actually completed, and we are already producing more power, even just our power boost, than we have in our total consumption across the entire map. We now make 146,315 megawatts of power. And like I said, only 2 of 9 that we've actually turned on so far, so we still have a lot of megawatts to unlock. I think that's probably where I'm going to call it there for putting it together in this episode, and probably at least for the next couple days. I think I need a little break from this project. It broke me a little bit. It's a lot of pipe connections, a lot of placing things down. So yeah, each pipe from below can feed 108 fuel generators. I wanted to make sure I marked this out so I remember, which is 14 of my blueprints, with 1 of them not overclocked. So it seems like everything's been running fine. The only weird thing I've run into, so you can see everyone else here in the line, everyone else is running their normal way. I had to put this pipe in here because for some reason, I'm going to have to check this pipe going down along here, check all the connections, make sure they're actually seated in properly. Because like these last 4 or 5 on top on this line were for some reason losing the rocket fuel. But literally everywhere else across the floor has been totally fine, no problems at all. So I think there may be just some sort of weird issue in this pipeline here somewhere. That I'll have to go and figure out, but this little buffer line just totally fixed it for now. As you can see, everyone's just running totally fine now, and that's actually pretty crazy to have this much power in the world already, especially. So just to confirm, everything is running in 100% efficiency. We've got our nitro rocket fuel blenders down here. Let's check and on a few of them I see 100% efficiency across them all. 100% efficient this line. Same with this line as well. I'm just kind of checking like every other one just to be sure. So those are the ones that are like, I haven't turned any of the other ones on yet. So those 2 seem to be running perfectly. And then I think they're hooked up to the 2 front refineries over here, which I think are, there might be a couple of them kind of in and out, just trying to let out enough of their heavy oil residue because they've been backed up for quite a while. So, but actually it looks like everyone over here is working pretty fine too. 100% across the board, baby. I think this design actually works. So obviously if you want to make a smaller version of this, you could definitely do that as well. Or you could just do like literally a 1/9 of this setup. You could do like 1 row of these blenders, 1 row of the other blenders, 1 row of the refineries. Things would be a lot more simple. I think you only need like 600 sulfur instead of 5,400. So yeah, I think that will be where we bring it to the end of today's episode, bring it to the end of this mega project. I kind of want to bring this one to a close. I mean, we're like 3 episodes deep on this one now, and you know, it's not necessarily anything too complex. It's just placing the same things sort of over and over again. So I think we can kind of wrap this one up, and then next time we can move on to our electromagnetic control rods, which, like I mentioned earlier, I have the train line set up ready to go for us. So that's going to be a fun one. But I'll kind of come back here probably over the next few days or so, and I'll hook up probably another at least 2 of these blenders, which means placing another like another few hundred fuel generators. But at least it's a little bit easier using the blueprints. And then the last 5 I will wait to turn on until I actually have the Mark 6 conveyor belt so that we can actually bring in all the sulfur that we're going to need at once. And then we'll be able to turn on this entire thing. And I'm pretty sure we'll have probably about a little over 500,000 because of the power boost. I'm going to ballpark. We're going to have about 600,000 megawatts of power, something like that, when this whole thing turned on. Which is obviously way more than you need for the entire game, but it will open the door for us to do quite a bit of mega projects. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So thank you guys again for hanging out. Hopefully this wasn't too much of a mess. I know I was kind of got a little overwhelmed on some spots, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.